Some stories are so powerful, they remind us why we should never give up. This is one of those stories. This is the story of Chris Gardner, a man who defied the odds, battled homelessness, and emerged victorious against all expectations. Chris Gardner's story begins in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Born in 1954, Chris didn't have an easy childhood. Raised in a troubled home, he learned early on that life wasn't always fair. In the early 1980s, Gardner invested all his savings into bone density scanners, high-tech medical devices he believed would sell like crazy. But he was wrong. Doctors weren't interested. Each day he walked the streets of San Francisco, knocking on doors, hoping for a sale. But every rejection chipped away at his hope. His financial struggles soon took a toll on his marriage. His wife, Linda, had enough. The stress of unpaid bills, overdue rent, and a failed business venture was too much. One night she walked out, leaving Chris alone with their 5-year-old son. But this was just the beginning of his real struggle. He became a single father to his son, Christopher, and struggled to make ends meet. At one point, they were even homeless, sleeping in subway stations and shelters. But Chris refused to give up. Chris's big break came when he met a stockbroker driving a red Ferrari. He had to ask him, "What do you do and how do you do it?" The answer? He was a stockbroker. Right then, Chris knew this was his way out. He fought for an unpaid internship at Dean Witter Reynolds, competing with 20 other candidates. But there was a problem. He had no money, no home, and a child to take care of. The odds were against him, but he didn't let that stop him. Finally, he managed to land on that unpaid internship. Imagine this. Chris had to balance his internship, care for his son, and survive on almost no income. He'd carry his son to daycare, run to work, and study during every spare moment. Every moment counted. While others stayed late to work, he had to leave early. Because if he didn't make it to the homeless shelter in time, he and his son would have nowhere to sleep. It was grueling, but Chris had a vision. He knew that this struggle was temporary and his hard work would pay off. By day, he learned everything he could about stocks, making calls and impressing his bosses. Chris was relentless. He made more calls than anyone else, studied harder, and refused to take no for an answer. He built relationships. He impressed his superiors with his dedication and work ethic. Then the moment came. Chris was called into a meeting. He thought it was just another setback, another rejection, but instead, his supervisor asked him to wear a nice suit tomorrow because tomorrow will be his first day as a stockbroker. After 6 months of unpaid hard work, sacrifice, and uncertainty, Chris Gardner was given a full-time job. He had made it. At that moment, all his struggles, all his sacrifices had paid off. Chris Gardner's journey is proof that success isn't about where you start. It's about how far you're willing to go. His journey is the epitome of resilience, hard work, and belief in oneself. His story teaches us that no matter how hard life gets, no matter how many obstacles stand in your way, if you refuse to give up, you can achieve greatness. So, what's your dream? And what are you willing to do to achieve it? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Until next time, keep pursuing your happiness.